Hi Jalakshmi. Hi Ram.
Hi
Morning.
Chetan, good morning. How are you?
Morning. Doing good. How are you?
Doing good, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm sharing my video too.
Sure.
Yeah. Shall I start the recording?
Sure, Jalakshmi.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, Ram. Can you just brief me about yourself and the latest
Can I
technologies?
leave the call, Chetan?
Sure. You can leave top of the call.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Hi Chetan, my name is Ram. I have 10 plus years of experience in .NET technology. I was working as ASP.NET, ASP.NET MVC, and presently I was working as .NET Core, microservices, and Azure. Coming to tech stacks with the other thing which has been mentioned, I have exposed on SQL Server and ORM tools, Entity Framework, as well as Dapper and ADO.NET too. I have a little bit knowledge on Angular, but I can able to work with the Angular too for the front end technologies.
Okay.
Presently, I am working as a team lead, and 11 members are reporting to me to support CapEx and as well as Apex development, along with my regular tasks.
Okay.
Yeah, my project is airline catering system. It's an ERP which is used in different region, North America, North America, EMEA, LATAM, and Asia specific too. This product is used to prepare the catering. It's basically the caterers will use our application. It's preparing food inside the flight. It's not only for preparing, we need to have end-to-end ERP like purchase order management, material management, inventory, as well as invoicing to the customer and checking of all the information integrate with the SAPs and MuleSoft too. We have developed the different APIs to consume by the clients, and we are also using the different APIs which are using to from the different customers to get it the data their system into our system for passenger information, flight information, and the production for a food item. This was a product and which has supported as a complicated as one of the service provider for that product. This is what the brief of the product which has been worked.
Okay. Are you using cloud technologies also?
Yeah, we are using Azure as a cloud with the different services like Azure Function Apps, Azure App Insight, Azure Kubernetes Services, Azure Container Registry, Service Bus, and we Azure storage accounts to table storage, block storage, containers. Yeah, we have used like few of the things.
Okay. Have you worked on web API also?
Yes.
Yeah. Normally, which authentication method will be followed in web API?
JAR token we have implemented access token and refresh token based on that identity server 4 we have implemented for JAR token, and the user will be able to authenticate it for a particular resources.
Okay. Apart from that, where we use cars in web API?
In the scenarios like we have a different APIs. Our API has to consume by the third party to get that POS information, to send the POS information to the vendors, to get is the whether we need to get an acknowledgement from that vendors whether they received that purchase order or not. Once they receive that order, they have to communicate in terms of the quantities and other things. This has to be happened in terms of API.
Okay. And can we use a put method also instead of post?
Yes,
Or,
yes. We have used.
Can we use post instead of put?
The thing is, if it is a REST principle, we have to follow some standard. If it is a normal web API, we can use put, post, or patch. But if you follow the standard, it is not a best practice to use the post instead of put.
Okay. Okay. Like what is where we come across content negotiation in Web API?
One of the customer, they need only the JSON format because of their system is already well defined for handling the JSON. One of the customer, they want to handling in terms of XML. In those cases, we can define in content negotiation as accept type in the headers.
Okay. Okay. Like are we following any dependency? Design patterns or solid principles?
Yes, we have to follow.
Okay. Which pattern are you following?
We have followed CQRS and repository, dependency injection, singleton, factory design pattern.
Okay. And in which scenarios we will use dependency injection?
Yeah, I don't want to take that object creation responsibility and destroy the responsibility, like in terms of dispose of an object. In those cases, definitely the dependency injection will use as a creational design patterns. As a user, I don't want to maintain of how the object is creation and how we need to destroy an object and garbage collection. Those cases, I will go with the dependency injection.
Okay. Can you give an example in a notepad?
Okay.
Where how we follow the what we call constructed design pattern? How we use dependency injection in constructor.
Okay. Let me share my screen.
Yeah.
Let me know once you are able to see it.
Yeah.
We need to have the interface. We need to have the class.
Okay. Can you give me the syntax also?
Okay. Yeah. This is an interface. This is an implementation of interface. We need to define a variable, static read-only variable. It has to be private in this controller itself. It has to be used. This is a constructor. We need to initialize, and we can use further in the inside a controller.
Okay. Okay. Like what are the benefits of ASP.NET Core?
Yeah, basically it's lightweight. compared to ASP.NET MVC. Second thing is it is a cross-platform in terms of it will be supporting of Windows application, web application hosting. We can host multiple versions of an application parallel, and we can also use it's a free version, like in terms of it's a freeware. We can without licensing we can able to use it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Why we use? What is the use of middleware?
Middleware is handlers. In terms of classic ASP.NET or MVC, we need to define a handler. In earlier versions, it will be taken care by the framework itself. But in terms of .NET Core, we have to implement our own middlewares to handle the incoming request and responses.
Okay. What is the benefit of using startup page?
It has to be a startup page is the entry point, which will make us to provide that execution environment in terms of loading of all the configuration files, make ready with that local IIS or Kestrel server, make ready with accepting the request, and it has to be supported by the different default dependency injection to inject that any of the configurations, whether if you want to use the Azure keyword like that. It has to be provide an execution environment for ASP.NET Core application to make it ready to handle the incoming request.
Okay. What is the use of scoped service runtime in Core?
Yeah. Scoped services. I have defined some dependency injection. I want to use that dependency injection before any of the filters. If I want to access the interface and implementation, the scoped services, if it is a singleton singleton per request or transient like that, I want to create an object before getting executed into the controller level. If I want to access the filters or the resource filter or action filter like that, those cases, if there is any authentication I need to perform it if the user is having an access, then those scoped services will be useful.
Okay. Like how we handle session management?
Session management, we can use that use sessions and add session. As sessions will be added in terms of the string, whether it is a JSON format, we can able to serialize and deserialize based on our requirement.
Okay. Like why we use enumerable and iQueryable?
Basically, enumerable is a base interface for the collection, and iQueryable is coming from the system.linq namespace, linq namespace. Basically, I want to if I perform any of the filtering conditions and where conditions or other things, enumerable it will store of entire data. If any of the operation it will not go to the any of the filtering has to be happen on the collection. But iQueryable, it will for each and every the filtering and where condition, it will go to the SQL server and it has to be performed as an object. It's a preferable approach as enumerable is iMemory collection, like in memory collection. But LinkU is SQL. If you want to get the latest records, if you want to have that the filtering has to be happen server side, we will go with the iQueryable.
In Angular, we have lifecycle hooks, right? How many types of lifecycle hooks are there?
As I said, I have that little bit experience, but I have used the on init, ng on changes, ng view changes like that. But I don't have that complete exposure. But I am trying to get hands on.
Okay. Apart from that, have you worked on hash tables?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why we use it? Where we use it?
Basically, the hash table is it's a collection. It's not a generic collection. Basically, if you want to store the values in terms of some, if you want to get a more faster way, we will use the hash table because it will use the hash code. Each line it will store the hash code. It will not preserve that sorting order. Whatever the order we are inserting, it will not insert it. It will not support that sorting order too. Basically, the major use of hash table to get that faster record, it will internally use the hash code. Those purpose we will go with the hash code, hash table, hash table.
Okay. And in SQL we have how can we perform performance tuning and all those things? What are the standard steps that we follow?
Yeah, we have to follow there is no some the thumb rules to get that. We have to follow like that. We have to check whether that the query we will give that the cost. Whatever the if we execute the query, we will able to get that execution plan. We will try to identify where is the most of the cost is getting increasing, like 100% or 50%. Based on the cost, that is one of the case. Second case is we need to follow with the if you want to join the tables, we need to perform the parent join with the child. We have to follow that parent and child relationship. We have to use the primary key. If we are using the primary key as a join, we will get that the faster access using the cluster index. The same time, if you want to have non-cluster index columns to add in the where condition, we have to include a non-cluster index and we have to include of whatever the columns we are using. That is one of the approach. And the third approach what we followed is we need to check we can use the temp table or table variables or CTE to store that entire object result data into the temp table. The same table, if the same table we are trying to get an access multiple times in a query, instead of going for each and every queries to each and every block of the code in SP, instead of going to the main table, why can't we get into the result into the some temp table and perform an operation on temp table and return the data?
Okay.
It's a case to case. There is no thumb rule, but we have to follow the some standards which has been mentioned by the SQL Server.
Okay. Okay, Ram. That's it from my side. Okay. I will share the feedback with the team and they will get back to you.
Sure, Chetan. Thanks for your time. Bye.